Some more breaking news right now, this time out of Leander, where police were investigating a shooting. This happened around 7:15 at Robin Bledsoe Park off of South Baghdad Road. Police only confirmed there was a shooting at the park. They say one person is dead after an altercation between two groups. The identity of that victim is being withheld until family is notified. Authorities say this is an isolated incident.
This is over in East Austin. It is a fire that is now out, but we know that a firefighter has been treated for heat exhaustion. That is new after battling the apartment fire that's along Springdale Road you see on the map at the Ashford Costa Brava complex. That's the name of it, near Loyola Lane and 183. Live look now, because Austin Fire says it started as a car fire around 2 this morning in the parking lot. This is the first time that we're getting a look, as we can see clearly that the sun starts to rise and the damage is obvious. The damage spread to 2 other cars, then up the wall of that 3-story apartment building and into the attic. 8 apartments are damaged, 3 cars burned, 26 adults and 11 children are now having to find a new place to stay. The Red Cross has gotten there on scene. AFD is still trying to figure out exactly what caused the fire, but so far from what we know, no major injuries to report.
Area still underneath that tsunami advisory all the way down the west coast here. So let me show you on a map what this looks like. Here's where the earthquake struck, 8.8. Again, this was the largest since the Japan 2011 earthquake that caused widespread destruction there. Up in the North Pacific, we still have those tsunami advisories in place for Hawaii. So when it comes to the warning and advisory, so they put out a watch as soon as the earthquake happened to assess what's going to play out here. Then the warning was issued. The warning was for waves of about 3 to 10 feet, which we did have some of those. But earlier this morning, the warning went down to an advisory, a tsunami advisory for waves of about 1 to 3 feet. So that is still a possibility, not only in the state of Hawaii, but also along the California coast. There's also a piece of the California coast still underneath that tsunami warning. They've chipped it away at it over the last 20-30 minutes since I last shown you, and I know it's so tough to tell, but there is a difference in color here. It's right up towards Cape Mendocino, Northern California, Crescent City area, an area that's actually prone to tsunami waves, but then the advisory stretches all the way up towards that Canadian-Washington border. Also parts of the Aleutian Islands there in Alaska underneath that tsunami advisory. So minor impacts still expected. I mean, we did have a tsunami impact the United States overnight and into early this morning, but no major tsunami waves, no major destruction that we can see here in the United States.
New at 6, we are hearing from a county clerk in New York locked in a legal battle with Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Daniel Mudding.
And I'm Jennifer Sanders. Earlier this year, Paxton won a lawsuit in Texas against a doctor who sent an abortion-inducing drug from New York to Texas. However, the judgment has yet to be enforced as a county clerk in New York refused to file it.
Paxton is now suing the clerk, and that clerk told our Adam Schwager he was just following his own state's law.
This saga starts in December. That's when Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sued Dr. Maggie Carpenter for mailing an abortion-inducing drug to Texas, accusing her of operating in Texas without a medical license and knowingly inducing an abortion. Dr. Carpenter declined to respond to Paxton's allegations, so in February, a Collin County judge agreed with Paxton and said Carpenter owed over $100,000.
It put me in a position to you could argue break the law either way.
When Paxton asked Carpenter's home of Ulster County, New York to force her to pay, the acting clerk, Taylor Brooks, said he had to follow his own state law.
It's fairly plain. It says no government employee shall comply with an out-of-state proceeding, civil or criminal, related to healthcare services rendered that are legal in New York State.
It's called a shield law, and it's on the books in over a dozen states after Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022. Attorneys general in several conservative states have argued they're unconstitutional, and on Tuesday, Paxton added his name onto a joint letter authored by Arkansas's attorney general, joining in 15 other states asking Congress to make these shield laws invalid.
And I think the attorneys general in some way are saying, give us a law that's clear.
Brooks says Paxton's recent filing against him is in New York and it's not yet finalized, but that's probably not the saga's final destination.
Sooner or later, this is going to end up in federal court, and then will probably eventually make it to the U.S. Supreme Court.
In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. On Monday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul posted her support for Bruck's actions on social media. We reached out to both Dr. Carpenter and Attorney General Paxton for the story. Neither responded in time for the report.
And adding some depth, Governor Abbott included Protect Unborn Children on the expansive special session agenda, giving lawmakers the opportunity to file 8 bills related to abortion. 3 pieces of legislation, House Bills 37, 65, and 66, allow parents of an aborted fetus to take civil action against the provider of an abortion pill. HB 70 would prevent minors from getting access to abortion facilities by blocking transportation funding, and HB 95 would prevent selling abortion-inducing drugs online. To see other bills that were filed, just go to KXAN.com. You're going to want to search abortion pill judgment.
More than 130 people signed. One of the oldest public housing properties in the entire country that's here in Austin is about to undergo a multi-million-dollar redevelopment project.
This comes after a major win for the City of Austin's Housing Authority, which secured federal tax funds just last week to make this possible. Jayla Washington explains what's to come for Santa Rita courts and the impact on neighbors.
Y'all want to come on in?
Lupe Garcia welcomed us into her home.
Hi, how are you?
With open arms.
How long have you lived here?
Going on 10 years.
Okay. Oh, look at the photos.
It's the kind of place that feels familiar, lived in, warm. That's why leaving soon will be bittersweet.
Yeah, this is my home. We've grown together. I've seen little kids from the age of 4 and they're in school, teenagers now.
Garcia and her neighbors will temporarily move out by the end of the year. The historic Santa Rita Courts property will be redeveloped after more than 80 years.
Thank God. Yeah, we're excited. We're very excited. We've been waiting.
Last week, the Austin Housing Authority won a tax credit from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs, securing $16 to $17 million to modernize the property in phases.
We'll be going from 97 units here at Santa Rita to 200, so more than doubling, and adding pre-K and adding community space. And the most important thing, just changing the quality of life for the residents that call Santa Rita home.
The complex started off looking like this and still has dated things like outdoor clothing racks today, but it'll transform into this after all the work.
Nothing was going to happen here until we knew that the residents were on board. One of the things we heard from kiddos all the way up to adults was we want housing that we're proud to come home to.
You're going to get a sweet deal where you still have the same home when you return after the redevelopment. I know you got the dance place right across the street.
That's something that I'm going to have to work on.
Jayla Washington, KXAN News.
No problem.